CTV News with Ricardo, Veneza.
We're sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed, and it's going to make this country into a rocket ship.
U.S. President Donald Trump celebrates a legislative win as Congress narrowly passes a mega bill of spending cuts and tax breaks. Good evening. Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill has received final passage in Congress, approving $4.5 trillion in tax breaks, and it's now set to be signed into law by the president tomorrow.
When you go over the bill, it was very easy to get him to a yes. You know, we went over that bill, and point after point, biggest tax cut in history, great for security, great on the southern border, immigration is covered. We covered just about everything. Again, it's the biggest bill ever signed of its kind.
After needing a tiebreaker in the Senate, it was another tight vote of 218 to 214 that saw the bill pass the House of Representatives today. Two Republicans joined the Democrats in opposition after Trump and party officials leaned on waffling members to back the signature legislation. The bill includes investment in national security, the administration's deportation agenda, and developing the Golden Dome missile defense system. To offset that spending, the package includes $1.2 trillion in cutbacks to Medicaid health care and food stamps that will kick millions off their health care coverage. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says the bill will add $3.4 trillion to the U.S. debt. The bill had also included a so-called revenge tax that would have hit Canadians with U.S.-based investments, but that was scrapped. It's that instinct from the White House that has Canada shifting its trading focus. And as CTV's Rachel Aiello reports, new data bear that out.
Canada-U.S. trade is stuck in a tariff-induced rut, according to new numbers from Statistics Canada. Exports of Canadian goods to the United States have decreased for a fourth consecutive month, costing businesses billions.
Businesses are really kind of in suspended animation right now. And you always worry about losing a customer, even if it's just for a matter of months, because there's no guarantee that you're going to get that customer back.
This snapshot of the state of trade with Canada's largest export market comes amid some better news. Canada's overall merchandise trade deficit narrowed slightly in May. Imports fell 1.6% to $66 billion, while exports were up 1.1% to $60 billion. These figures bringing the deficit to $5.9 billion, down from April's record-setting $7.6 billion. The slight rebound attributed to exports of Canadian goods to other countries hitting a record high. Experts say this is a direct result of efforts to diversify Canada's international trade relationships.
What we're seeing in the numbers is somewhat encouraging. I mean, that, exporters, Canadian companies are taking that spare capacity that the United States created or the empty space on the order books and are able to, in some cases, fill it with other markets.
Those I spoke with today said with Canadian businesses working to lessen their reliance on the U.S., the worst may be in the rearview mirror. But until Prime Minister Mark Carney locks in a trade pact with U.S. President Donald Trump, the road ahead will remain rocky. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A new report from the U.S. says barely any of the fentanyl seized south of the border originates from Canada. The study was done by U.S. think tank the Manhattan Institute. It examined thousands of large-scale fentanyl seizures across 80 U.S. counties along the Canadian and Mexican borders. They found that by weight, about 99% of fentanyl pills gathered in large seizures between 2013 and 2024 were discovered in U.S.-Mexico border counties. The report adds large Canadian border seizures were relatively rare. Trump justified his emergency tariffs by saying fentanyl was, quote, pouring into our country from Mexico and Canada. Well, looking to Queen's Park now, the province has announced a funding boost to expand health supports at long-term care homes. The Ford government is committing $35 million for its Local Priorities Fund. The initiative provides long-term care homes with specialized equipment, services, and staff training. The Ministry of Long-Term Care says the goal is to help facilities support new and existing residents with complex care needs and prevent avoidable emergency department visits. Meantime, Public Health Ontario is reporting another drop in the number of new measles cases across the province. The latest update shows 12 infections were reported over the last week. That continues a downward trend after 33 were identified in the previous report and 96 the week before that. Ontario has seen more than 2,200 measles cases since an outbreak linked to an exposure in New Brunswick began in October. Officials continue to encourage vaccination to stop the spread and prevent more severe health outcomes from what is a highly contagious virus. Well, now to Dresden, where pushback continues to the Ford government's new law that paves the way to reopen a former landfill site in the small town. Now, Robert Lothian has more on the fight and the message they're sending to the Premier.
Dresden residents rallied together against a contentious proposal.
We've fought so hard to make it a place for people to come and enjoy themselves and not to have a big dump in their backyard.
Kill Bill 5!
Kill! Concerns over reviving a decades-old dump are receiving support from Ontario NDP leader Marit Stiles. Traveling to Dresden Thursday, she's encouraging residents to continue fighting.
Reach out to their friends and neighbors and people in other communities, because what happens here in Dresden is what's going to happen across the province.
The Ford government pushed through the Unleashing Our Economy Act late in the spring legislative sitting. Bill 5 allows the York 1 proposed landfill in Dresden to move forward without an environmental assessment that's creating environmental concerns.
The York 1 proposal poses many risks: environmental, agricultural, ecosystem.
Echoed by Indigenous leaders.
Start acting on integrity and not because of the wants of your corporate sponsors or fear from your leaders.
At the dump site, construction equipment appears ready to move, but Chatham-Kent officials say not so fast.
As of today, we have received no applications from York 1. So we've received nothing. They haven't approved or applied for any zoning applications or anything. So we've heard 0, nil, nothing.
Instead, they do have an invite for Premier Doug Ford.
If he's listening, I encourage him to come here and see how close this is. I don't think he has a clue.
And while the legislation has passed, Stiles feels similar to the Greenbelt scandal. There's still time to stop the landfill.
He introduces a bill, he lies, he lies again, and then we build the public pressure and he repeals the bill. So this is what we've got to do again.
Robert Lothian, CTV News.
Now, a statement from York 1 tonight says, in part, our goal is to stabilize and modernize the sites. Going on to say the planned regenerative recycling facility will not accept household waste and is designed with engineered liners, groundwater protection systems, and other best-in-class environmental safeguards. The company says work will ramp up over the next 2 months to prepare for the project. An update now on a story we brought you last night. A section of Highway 402 near Strathroy is still closed this evening as crews clean up a chemical spill. The westbound lanes were shut down yesterday afternoon after a crash involving a passenger vehicle and transport truck led to an acid leak. Police say it was slowly leaking from the trailer, bringing in emergency crews to pump the chemical out of the ditch where the truck had crashed. Officials expected the highway to reopen this morning, but now there is no estimated reopening time.
Absolutely. It's for public safety and for everyone's health. Obviously, when we have individuals indicate that we have this type of product that's on board this transport truck, we want to make sure that we take all the precautions necessary to keep the public safe.
In Tecumseh, new electric buses are set to roll out. They're part of new investments in the town's transit and could represent an important part of future public community. CTV's Chris Campbell reports.
Quiet, clean, and fully electric. Tecumseh's new transit fleet is ready to roll. These buses are replacing the town's gas-powered vehicles with zero tailpipe emissions and the same routes residents already rely on.
It's something that it's been on our mind. Obviously, if you look at climate change and every little bit, helps. There's no doubt. And what we're doing now is not only the transit system, but we're going to start looking at greening, our municipal fleet throughout the corporation.
Behind the wheel, drivers like Gwen Baker are learning what it takes to operate a bus that's powered by a battery.
They're a bit different. You got to get used to the idea of the electric range. They have a totally different sound and feel to it because you don't have the revving noise you get on a diesel or even a gas vehicle where you can tell what it's doing engine-wise. It's going to be a bit getting used to.
The switch made possible through federal funding from the Rural Transit Solutions Fund. In all, the 3 buses cost roughly $1.4 million. With the old ones nearing the end of life cycle, officials say it's part of Tecumseh's larger goal of a more sustainable public service.
It's fully air-conditioned, it's quiet, it's a comfortable ride, it's a very sleek look.
You know, at the county level, we're reviewing the transportation master study, and part of that is to review busing to connect the county and the cities.
And while the buses are starting in Tecumseh, there's hope the electric momentum will spread across Essex County.
Obviously, it has financial constraints, budgetary money that's going to be needed by different local municipalities. And so, you know, if we think regionally, I think this is the right way to go and to connect, to allow our residents to be able to connect and travel amongst local municipalities.
Meantime, residents can expect to see the new fleet rolling out throughout July. Same stops, same schedules, but with a much quieter ride. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
DeRosier's Automotive Consultants reports June vehicle sales were up from a year ago, but still show declining momentum. For FCA Canada, its Windsor-built vehicles are seeing a mixed sales trend, with the Chrysler Pacifica being its most reliable earner. The company says over 4,000 Chrysler Pacifica vans were sold between April and June. Now, that's double the roughly 2,000 vehicles sold during the same time period in 2024. Now, when you look at Pacifica sales in the first half of this year, there were 5,400 vans sold, compared to just under 3,000 in the same time frame last year. Now, those numbers showing the vast majority of the sales came in the last 3 months. However, sales of the Windsor-built Chrysler Grand Caravan saw an 11% dip this quarter compared to last year. The new Windsor-made Dodge Charger Daytona also saw a major drop. Only 2 vehicles were sold this quarter. That's compared to 48 of the new muscle cars that were sold last April to June. The news comes following alternating layoffs at Windsor Assembly throughout May and June, and, of course, tariff-related disruptions. In Amherstburg, it may be a bit bittersweet for many in the area. Demolition Day has come for the old Boblo dock. The Front Road dock is owned and managed by the Federal Department of Fisheries and Oceans. It had fallen into serious disrepair and was at risk of collapsing into the river. It's gone unused now since 1993. The dock once served as a landing point for ferry passengers traveling to and from the former Boblo Island amusement park. The town had been urging the federal government to tear it down since 2016, citing its deteriorating condition and the safety hazard it posed to boaters.
We had to deal with the federal government, and it took more than 2 years, 3 years, to finally convince them to find the money to take it down because it's unsafe. And so where we go from here, I think everything will be much better. Kids won't be in danger from climbing all over it. Boats won't run into it at night because it's not lit. If there was an ice jam, it could be flowed down the river, which wasn't safe.
Yeah, certainly a lot of memories there. Well, after the break, Gary Archibald joins us with a look ahead to the weekend's forecast.
And a friend texted me and said, oh, something, security at the airport, security threat, who knows?
Still ahead, the security scare at airports across the country that grounded planes and travel plans. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining us now for a check of the forecast. Gary, I think fairly comfortable today, but we're getting into maybe more uncomfortable territory as the weekend approaches.
You're right. As the temperatures slightly increase, they're already above seasonal, Ricardo, and will add even more humidity, especially for Saturday and Sunday. It could feel like the low 40s, and we'll break that down. Some showers and thunderstorms threatening over the next couple of days as well as we head towards the weekend. Reached 29 degrees today, average high 27. It has been warm on both ends of the spectrum in terms of the daily maximum and minimums. We are a few degrees above the marks that we would normally encounter. A few storms erupted across southern central parts of Michigan into northern Ohio, northwestern Ohio, so we dodged a bullet, so to speak. And the good news is tonight, in fact, the latest models are suggesting will cool off a little bit more than was forecast several hours ago. In fact, temperatures could get down slightly below seasonal to about 15 or 16 degrees, and our average low is about 17 at this time of the year. The showers and thunderstorm potential, this is going to be an ongoing scenario, a broken record as we would expect during the warm months of the year. Daytime heating, right? We reach that maximum during the afternoon. That helps to stir up the atmosphere, warm air rising with energy condensing into clouds that produce showers and sometimes violent reactions in the atmosphere, and we call them thunderstorms. For now, the overnight is clearing and calm. The winds less than 5 kilometers per hour, and we'll get down to about 16 degrees Celsius before sunrise. That 16 probably coming in at around 5 a.m. So a coolish night, overnight, technically tomorrow morning. We haven't enjoyed one of those in a while. We'll warm up significantly from there. 21 degrees already at 8 a.m. Sunny, calm winds throughout the morning, midday, and afternoon. We're up to 30 with about a 30% chance of a shower and/or thunderstorm, feeling like about 38. And speaking of upper 30s, we could feel like about 39 to 42 for the weekend that's coming. 30 tomorrow, 33 and sunny on Saturday, 32 with showers possible on a mostly cloudy day. Both days, again, near 40 to 42, I think, in particular for Windsor, Essex. A bit cooler for Chatham, Kent, but upper 30s expected. Showers on Monday, 27. Will be more seasonal next week with temperatures between 27 and 28. Sunny through the midweek with showers again towards the end of it. Let's look at your 7-day forecast.
Okay, Gary, thank you for that. Yeah, certainly things looking like they're about to warm up. Well, Essex saw a pop-up farmers market today celebrating a new partnership. The market brought together several We Heart local partners. That includes Raymont's Berries, Walnut Grove Bed and Breakfast, Simpson's Orchards, and Denver's Homestead. Organizers say it's part of a push to get both locals and tourists exploring the region's agricultural gems using the We Heart Digital Pass. The free membership includes access to more than 60 participating farms, shops, and experiences, with monthly giveaways, exclusive offers, and recipes inspired by local harvests.
It's all about being Canadian now, eh? and buying local is more important than ever. It's always been important, but more important than ever now.
We reinvented the program this year to promote all year long. We give away monthly digests through the email if you register, gives recipes, exclusive offers, highlights partners, and a monthly giveaway just for registering for the pass.
Well, a good day for tech stocks, meant a good day for Canada's main stock index. That's the TSX, up 165 points. The Dow up 344, while the tech-heavy NASDAQ was up 208 points. Now, the Canadian dollar also up significantly today to rest at 73.66 cents U.S. Gold down almost $17 an ounce, while oil falls 45 cents a barrel.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. A security scare seized air travelers and officials today at several airports across the country.
A friend texted me and said, oh, something, security at the airport, security threat, who knows?
Authorities across 3 provinces are investigating bomb threats at multiple Canadian airports that, of course, disrupted flights and caused lengthy delays. As CTV's Judy Trin reports, control towers were evacuated as part of the response, and work is underway to track down the source of those phony threats.
Bleary-eyed travelers set to depart on early flights at the Ottawa International Airport, unexpectedly jolted by a security scare.
I just checked in 10 minutes ago. Flight's canceled. That's it. Good luck.
Gates were closed. We couldn't get through, so we all sat down, and there was a lot of questions. And then a friend of mine just texted me and said there was a bomb threat.
The threat was directed at NAV Canada, which manages national air traffic control operations. In a statement, the organization said that bomb threats impacted its facilities in Ottawa, Montreal, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Vancouver, and that it's collaborating with authorities to ensure the safety of all personnel and passengers. NAV Canada will not comment on what motivated the threat, but it did evacuate its staff and issued a temporary order to ground planes, preventing takeoffs and landings. Passengers who boarded one flight were forced to disembark. At departure gates, travelers were pushed back to one side of the building.
We were walked right up to our gate on time, and as we were approaching gate 26, we saw a row of security people walking towards us saying, everybody back, turn around.
In Winnipeg, the airport was eerily quiet, but in the end, police did not find a bomb at any of the threat locations. But passengers were knocked off track.
We just got a notification that we were rebooked for tomorrow, which is 24 hours too late for our family reunion.
Normal operations and flights resumed after more than 3 hours across affected airports. But finding out who's responsible will take much longer. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, there are signs it's set to be a busy travel season in Canada. A couple from Windsor are part of the surge in tourists the capital saw for Canada Day, with the city reporting a surge in visits. Now, this could be part of a broader trend across the country, with Canadians opting for staycations instead of stateside visits. CTV's Peter Sperling brings us the story from Ottawa.
It's a sea of red and white. Crowds converge on the capital for Canada Day.
Unbelievable. Great. Makes you be really proud to be a Canadian, eh?
Louisa and Ken visiting from Windsor.
We wanted to come and experience Canada Day in our nation's capital, Ottawa. It was something on our bucket list, so we're here.
Those promoting Ottawa as a tourist destination love what they're doing next, sticking around and experiencing more of the capital.
I love it. Beautiful city. I love the architecture. I love the old buildings. So yeah, it's going to be, the next few days are going to be awesome for me.
Canada Day, a big draw, but it alone isn't enough to make for a successful summer season.
We took an extra day off this time to see the fireworks.
Ottawa Tourism projecting 10 million visitors this year.
We are up in 2025 compared to the same time last year, 2024. However, we are still working towards the numbers of pre-pandemic. The peak year was 2019. That was a record year. That year we got nearly 11 million visitors.
This family visiting from Toronto, now exploring.
What was your favorite part?
The fireworks.
We feel at Canadian Heritage that the event was a huge success. We felt that, for the months leading up to Canada Day, that Canadians have really had, this new renewed feeling of pride and coming together.
And wanting to wear that pride.
We've been here at the Byward Market for about 15 years, and I got to say personally, we broke records. It was amazing.
According to Ottawa Tourism, 90% of visitors are Canadian, with the States the top international market.
Booked a trip, we went to the Falls, Toronto, and now we're here.
These visitors from Miami, Florida.
We wanted to see what it was like here.
And what'd you think?
It's cool. It was nice.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Pure Country 89, Windsor's country music station. Pure access to the biggest stars and the hottest songs. Download the free iHeartRadio app to listen to Pure Country everywhere.
Okay, Gary is back with his wrap of a 7-day forecast. And Gary, we're looking at some more heat and humidity into tomorrow.
Yes, you're right about that. I think temperatures are going to climb through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before we cool off just a touch, relatively speaking. We'll still be warm, but more seasonal next week. For the next 3 days, though, we'll be in the low 30s, between 30 and 33, in fact, Friday through Saturday, Sunday. Keep the umbrella handy, especially for Sunday. A chance of showers and or thunder showers. And then next week, 27 and 28, the daytime highs expected. Showers on Monday, sunny through Tuesday, Wednesday, and potential showers and thunderstorm activity a week from now on Thursday. Wherever you are, enjoy your weather, a good night's sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, Gary, thank you. Well, finally for us tonight, Fred has a new lease on life. That's the bookmobile program offered by the Windsor Public Library. Now, the library on wheels is ready for its second chapter, and the city unveiled the new and improved version today. As our Kate Otterbein tells us, it aims to make reading more accessible and reach underserved neighborhoods.
There's some Dynamo Stilton and I'm pretty sure that there would be Launchpad iPads here.
The bookmobile made its appearance at Captain John Wilson Park, offering kids like Augustine easier access to books, movies, and more.
Now we're in the bookmobile.
Augustine took me through the bookmobile, offering a great tour of the adult section, kids section, and the movies. But what he's most excited about, owning the future Windsor Public Library in South Windsor.
The library would be Augustine, and it would be the center of the park. Yeah, and I would own this place, okay?
According to Kieran McKenzie, Library Board Vice Chair, we aren't quite there yet for a proper bricks and mortar library in the South End, so Augustine will unfortunately have to wait just a little bit longer.
There's an ongoing discussion, and I've been working very hard to bring a bricks and mortar facility out to Southeast Windsor.
The van, lovingly named Fred 2.0, is a homage to its predecessor. Windsor Public Library had a bookmobile that began service in 2016, but broke down in 2020. Fred stands for freedom to read, educate, and discover.
What we've been striving to do as an administration, as well as the board of directors and all members of City Council, is to be able to meet the service level expectations that people in the community have. So this is an example of council and the library recognizing a service demand that's in the community, meeting that demand.
Until Augustine can get his library up and running in the park, make sure to stop by the bookmobile for all your library needs. Kate Otterbein, CTV News, Windsor.
Oh, fantastic stuff to see Fred 2.0 rolling around the Rose City. Well, that is our time this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you again tomorrow at 6. Until then, I'm Ricardo, Veneza, and for everyone here at CTV on both sides of the camera, have a great night.